Me in the back garden. I'm sorry about the other video, as usual. I haven't got enough memory on my phone, so it ran out. But you'll be able to see the outside area of the youth club, which is really exciting, and seeing the planters and the stuff that I know a couple of you planted in the summer last year, and see how stuff's grown. At the end of that clip, there was something about White House Road and the development there, White House Street, sorry. And there was a link to a website, which is whitehousestreet.com. And the reason I put it on there is because people that BS3 community are connected with are really interested to hear people's opinions on what should happen with developments there. And I think in the last few years, local government has got very good at asking people what they think. And it would be really great if you or your parents could join in and say what they think about places, and they do really take into account what people say. And it got me thinking about sort of democracy and things, about young people joining in and having a voice, and how, it's quite hard, isn't it? If you know that you can't vote till you're 18, it must be quite tricky. You don't feel as though you've got a say in people who make decisions for you. And quite often schools are places, aren't they, where they sort of trial stuff out. And I started thinking about your school and whether you have a student voice, whether you have some representative body that you can take to the governors, even not even the teachers, and find out what people think, and put those thoughts towards decision makers. And those of you that are involved in those processes will realise probably that they're quite difficult, that most people just want to probably, let me guess, moan about the food normally in the school, which is a standard thing. But also it's quite hard to get general opinions of everybody, and for one or two people to put them forward, you will begin to understand how hard it must be to work in politics, where you're representing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, but also how you have to do that, and you have to represent people's voices. And that's what we were trying to do at Youth Club, of course, getting some of your opinions and getting you involved in a bit of a planning committee. And it was very genuine, it was very heartfelt, honest and open way of getting your opinions involved in how we spend money and what kinds of activities we can plan. Can we even do things off-site, which is really exciting, thinking about day trips out to places, or maybe even residential trips, which I know a lot of youth services do. Could we do that here and run something where we go away for the weekend? Fantastic, very exciting, particularly at the moment where people aren't even going down the street. So yeah, and I think it was a good way in to start thinking about your participation, and the idea that it's quite easy, isn't it, sometimes to sit back and moan about stuff. That's rubbish, this is rubbish, that's not fair. It's actually having a voice and being lucky enough to be able to participate in a democratic system where you do have a voice when you're old enough, and if the system's right for you, then that's quite a powerful thing. And you start to think about people in countries where you don't have that at all, where nobody listens to you, or you're not allowed to vote or at all at any age, and there's no participation, and how frustrating and angry that must make you. Similar feelings maybe to how some of you feel if you don't feel like you're getting your way, or how your opinions being heard in other institutions. Perhaps not quite as serious if it's in a country where you're being denied your basic human rights, but it's interesting nonetheless just to think about. So yeah, White House Street, have a look at it. I'm outside in my back garden, as you've probably noticed, and it is 6:25. Look how light it is. It's really exciting. A pigeon landed in that tree a minute ago. I've only got a tiny little garden. It's more of a garden. It's like quite concrete, no grass. I've got a few things growing around in here which I quite like. And we do get some interesting visitors throughout the year. I think I spotted about 9 or 10 different species of birds from the back garden, not all of them landing. I've seen some great footage of, amazingly around here, sparrowhawks in people's back gardens swooping down and taking sparrows, or coming in to see what's just hanging out and seeing what's going on. You follow the BS3 wildlife group, you'll see people sharing that. That's also where I got the top tip of the barn owl, the Bedminster barn owl, which I did mention in one of the blogs, which is about headed out on that crazy bus route out to the back of Ashton Vale, which seems to become a really interesting sort of exercise route for a lot of people. It's brilliant how that's changed. The Metrobus does run down there, but round the back of Ashton Vale, round the back of the youth club there that some of you go to, I know. And towards the marsh area on the left, right round the back, there is it's a really interesting nature reserve that's become populated by some quite unusual birds. And I did mention that I've seen a snipe there. It squawked and flew off. Very straight bill, fast wings. And then the barn owl as well, which was absolutely beautiful. Right at twilight, just when the sun's going down, big white thing flapping away. A bit like my hands, yeah, big white thing. And just creeping around the edge of that marsh area, looking for little mice and voles and things to prey on. I went there last night actually, and there were 2 people out there with binoculars, but it wasn't about because you would spot it. But it's really special to have that kind of wildlife right on our doorstep. So spring, it's changing, isn't it? You know, you think now when the clocks go forward, this will be 7:30. It'll be quite light. It's quiet now because something's landed in the bush up to my left. I think it's a robin. Oh no, it's not. Actually, it is. It's a robin. I'm not going to come down and say hello. I've seen people feed them on their hands when they get very, very tame robins. It's probably about 6 foot away from me now. Around the back. I can only see its silhouette, so it might not have a red breast, it might be a robin at all. I've lost my birding skills. So look at that's a great example of nature coming back after winter, waking from the sleep, and I'm pretty sure it's a robin now. And green shoots sprouting everywhere and planting going on. I hope some of you are planting in your back gardens, growing things on kitchen shelves, all kinds of stuff. Hopefully you'll get to see some of the stuff that we've got at the youth club soon. So a bit of a chatty one for me this week. I'm going to get active next week and do something. Hopefully it won't involve too much hard work and blood, sweat and tears, but maybe some cooking again. But check out White House. Have a look at the pictures of the planters and think about transition from winter into spring into summer. All the exciting opportunities hopefully that are ahead of you, including the opening up of the Bedminster Youth Club, which, all being well, should be taking place in the next few weeks. See you soon.